Hey everybody, Max here again, and today I'm going to be watching the One Piece trailer and reacting to it. I've already actually seen it, but I had to take some time to compile my thoughts together of what I'm watching, and I wanted to kind of share what it is that I am thinking. I want to give it a fair chance. There are some things that I like, and there's some things that I don't like. I will give it the benefit of the doubt. Netflix, I know we all know, has a very poor track record when it comes to anime. But just to keep in mind, I've been watching One Piece more than half of my life. I think I started around when I was 12 years old and now I'm 32. So over half my life, I've been watching One Piece. And I think I speak for us all One Piece fans that we just want a One Piece adaptation. If they're going to be doing it, give us an adaptation that properly captures the story. One Piece has one of the best stories in all of fiction, not even anime, in all of fiction. So we just want something that properly encapsulates Oda's amazing story, and he is an executive producer on this. So we have some hope here. Okay, already.
Ever since I was a kid.
Already, I do like the sets. I can tell that they put care into it. One Luffy, it could just be me, but I feel like this is just a very good cosplay right now. Like I've been to enough anime conventions that that's the first impact it gave me, but it's going to be very hard for any studio to do something that doesn't look like cosplay when it comes to anime. But I digress. Let's keep going.
The sea's been calling. So, I'm setting out to follow my dreams.
All right, I like it. They have Barate. They're going to be doing the Sanji arc, obviously. I have some hope here that, I've seen the sets that they've made behind the scenes. They've actually built this in, I think it was South Africa. So, set-wise, music-wise so far, the vibe, visuals, it doesn't look that bad. I know that this is a low bar to set, but it doesn't look that bad from the trailer.
I'm gonna be king of the pirates. All I need is a loyal crew. And I think together we'd make a pretty good team.
All right, I'm going jumping back. Zoro, I think, strikes me as one of the best parts of this trailer. Actually, I think the way they actually did his hair, also, green hair can. I've done green hair. I was cosplayed as Zoro for Halloween, and it can really look strange. But I think what they did here, it looks pretty convincing so far. What I see, Makenyu might actually be a very good Zoro, and showing this scene. I mean, here's one thing that I thought was kind of goofy though. Is if you jump back here, that's Morgan. I think, in the anime, we know Morgan was a character who was very full of himself and he put himself everywhere. I don't know if I like how CG this background looks. I don't know. Something looks a little bit off, but if these actors can properly get Luffy's and Zoro's dynamic well, I'll be happy. When it comes to One Piece, it's not just about the story and the world building that's very important, but it's also how the characters actually interact with each other and how the characters grow. Because the series is so long, it's over 1,000 episodes, you get to see the interactions between characters and they just do things that make sense with each other because you know their backstory and you know what they've been through. So I want them to be able to get this right between Luffy and Zoro especially. Hopefully they can do this with all the characters. I have some hopes here. This is such a great scene. It's in episode 2, I believe, of One Piece, and it's what gets people to keep watching. I think is just Zoro being such a badass character, and he's tied up, and Luffy finds him. It's just like such a great way to show One Piece. I just want them to get it right. All right.
Together we'd make a pretty good team. We're heading up to the Grand Line.
All right, the fighting, swordplay. We'll have to see how this goes. I don't know if Zoro, what the fighting with the sword in the mouth is going to look like. I think it, I want to see it. I want to see how well they do it. I've never you know, it's going to be something very different. Rurouni Kenshin is like one of the only real good anime adaptations I've seen. So hopefully they can do something here. I hope they got maybe the same choreographer or something. I have hopes.
Treacherous stretch of ocean with bigger islands.
Shanks seeking. This is going to be critical because I feel like Shanks is such a legendary character that if they only show the back of his head here, they're being very safe with the trailer. He's such an important character that I just don't want this to be like Cowboy Bebop, you know, where the trailer looked really good and then they get to Vicious and you find out Vicious, who's supposed to be a very legendary shrouded in mystery character, is not that in the series. And I'm just worried a little bit about Shanks here, but hopefully it's fine. Hopefully it's fine.
Bigger pirates.
All right, I forgot. Yeah, Buggy comes in here. Buggy is a clown, and look, I can even see like his 5 o'clock shadow coming in here. First impression, I don't like how creepy he looks. I know Buggy in the anime when he first pops up, he doesn't come off as creepy. He just comes off as very goofy, funny character. I just don't want him to be cringe, you know. So I kind of like, you know, it's really hard. Like, how do you make a clown from an anime into and adapt him perfectly into a live action? I feel like they're taking on very big challenges here as Netflix, because already One Piece, just none of the characters actually look like humans. I would say 90% of the characters all have like some sort of weird design to them, and it's going to be very hard to get that in live action without coming off as cringe or strange or just odd or uncanny valley. So I don't like what I see with the Pirates of the Caribbean. Like, it's just going at the Pirates of the Caribbean, and it's not going to be able to do that. They shouldn't do that. So I'm a little bit hesitant on what I can say there, and have to remain cautiously optimistic, but cautiously optimistic.
Careful with that.
I don't work for you.
I'm sensing a little bit of tension amongst the crew.
Not a crew.
All right, this interaction, I like that they threw it in there to try to show that they're trying to keep the crew like how it was in the anime. I feel like it's a little bit like Marvel. I feel like Luffy would actually not be aware that there is tension in the crew. I feel like he'd probably more likely be like, guys, you seem to be getting along really well together. You know, so it's just one interaction. I feel like I shouldn't dissect every little thing from this trailer, but from what I've seen so far, it's nothing really anything that I can say is going to be like, oh, this looks bad, and I don't want to hate on it either. I think it's actually very nice that Netflix is trying to adapt my favorite manga. The actors, you know, I've actually seen some interviews with the actors, and I actually like the actors, and I can tell that they really like the series, which I think is very important. And so no hate against the actors. It's really just up to how Netflix goes about telling or retelling this series. Usopp!
We haven't sailed together for very long, but
I know we've got each other's backs. All great fighters call out their
Okay. I know a lot of people already talked about the CG, so I'm not going to jump into it too much. I just think this is going to be one of the biggest challenges to get to look good in the series, and they've only shown this one scene. And you know, Luffy's got, this is his whole devil fruit power, is being a rubber guy. So they're going to have to do a decent amount of animation. Gumbo and Pistol, Rocket, he can expand his body. He can do all sorts of weird stuff that I don't know if it's going to look like a Willy Wonka movie, you know. It's going to be a challenge. Usopp, I didn't really get to see much of in this trailer. I can't really, I like the slingshot. I feel like all the elements of Usopp are here, so I don't mind that he doesn't have the long nose. I think that would have been very hard and weird to adapt. It would have looked even more like just a cosplay convention. So I like that they, you know, thought about that and didn't do that. Some of these fight scenes, like, I want to see this. I want to see some good action. One Piece is still an action shonen anime, so I don't know if this is all gonna look right. I think Nami. So far, all this is good. Sanji's kicks. Sanji, the actor, has impressed me. I saw some videos of him training like Taekwondo and doing kicks on bags and making his kicks look very good. Like he looks good. He looks good kicking, and this is going to be a big challenge. I think is just making sure the characters look how the actual fans, and even from a non-fan standpoint, you want to see somebody have good flashy kicks if you're going to be a cook who doesn't use his hands and just kicks.
All great fighters call out their finishing moves.
No, they don't.
Why? Why? All right, that's the trailer. I think it's funny. I feel like Zoro is going to actually end up call out his finishing moves because he does in the anime. He's never not done that. I like how, they're trying to make Zoro the cool edgy guy, the Sasuke character, I guess. I hope they don't go too far with making Zoro like this quiet, I'm cool character. He is very cool, but he's cool naturally by default. But he's already, from the start, he was already also kind of like a stupid character, kind of similar to Luffy, which Nami picks up on. So I just want to make sure, hopefully they keep those elements of Zoro in there. He was never supposed to be like an all serious guy himself. That's all that we really asked for, is that they captured the same story and the same elements that made us love One Piece in the beginning. Obviously, they're going to have to take a lot of creativity to make this into a series. I don't know how many episodes this is going to be. I am willing to give Netflix the benefit of the doubt, and they can change some stuff, but the core story has to really stay the same, or else it's going to end up like Cowboy Bebop, where you're changing how a character might act and doing all these different things that just people don't like. Thankfully, I guess, Eiichiro Oda Sensei is actually going to be an executive producer on here, so hopefully he has given his creative input and it's going to be good. But I also don't really mind if he let it go and focuses more on the manga and finishing the story itself, because we already know Oda has a lot of health problems. He doesn't need this series to drop and not be good and give him more stress, and then hopefully not like hospitalize him because of the stress of doing a Netflix release and also doing his manga himself, that apparently he only sleeps like 3 hours a night because he's always just doing One Piece. So I just want Oda to know that we still support him and the manga, and this is just its own thing, and it's great. It's actually, I think, wonderful that it's reached such a global audience finally. One Piece has really blown up globally, I feel like, in the past few years, which as a fan for over a decade, it feels good to know, or almost 2 decades for me. It feels good to know that this has reached this far. So I don't, in the concept, the premise that Netflix is even doing this makes me happy. I just want it to be good. That's all. So those are my thoughts. If you have any thoughts, let me know in the comments, but I will remain cautiously optimistic, and hopefully Netflix really pulls through. I'm cheering for you, Netflix. Please pull through. We want to see some good One Piece. That's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.